Howdy guys. So I'm going to continue in reading. Wow, what was that? Just heard a weird noise. I'm going to continue in reading the Candidate Guide for Master Mason. This is out of Where I've Become a Mason in Freemasonry through the state of California. Now, I am not doing any of this show, once again, on behalf of my lodge. I'm not doing this show on behalf of Grand Lodge. And I'm not doing this show on behalf of Freemasonry. I am a Mason who is proud of everything that I've done and learned, and when I started this show in when I became a Mason in 2014, I turned online and there wasn't really very much. Since starting this show just about a year ago, it is growing online, but there still needs to be a lot more positivity versus the amount of negativity. If you just Google or YouTube, you'll see what I mean. So I'm not representing anyone or anything, and I'm not breaking any of my obligations by doing this show and reading to you such materials. Even with the candidate guides, I'm not breaking any of my obligations. I have been on the phone, again, with everyone, right up to Grand Lodge. Now, they've let me know that the ciphers are online. I kind of remember seeing them. I'm not buying into that. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to go and look at somebody else and be like, whoa, dude. I don't want to do anything like that. I don't want to violate any obligations that I have to my fraternity or my brothers. I don't want to break any laws, you know what I mean? So I'm going to continue reading. Let me figure out where I left off. Okay. So we left off with the 3 Grand Masters in the Candidate Guide. And this is for Master Mason. This is for the 3rd degree in your Blue Lodge. Now I also want to state once again that I'm gonna lean over here, and no, I'm not in a trailer. This is a 2-story 5-bedroom house. Okay, it's not my house, but it is. I'm in a 2-story 5-bedroom house. Call it a trailer all you want. Judge my appearance and call me white trash all you want, dude. I don't care. If I were doing this on behalf of, I would present myself a little differently. But being that I am doing this on behalf of myself, it doesn't matter what I'm looking like or dressing like, how I have my hair, whatever. And I do use shampoo. I just also happen to put a lot of coconut oil in my hair when I'm all said and done, because I use a ton of conditioner too. But then I put coconut oil in my hair on top of it, because I have really dry curly hair, okay? So yeah, I do use shampoo. Thanks. And again, my appearance should have nothing to do with what I'm doing, because I'm not representing anything or anyone or anybody of, I'm just a person, and there you go. But I am, once again, like I said in the disclaimer, someone who's established themselves in the entertainment industry for 12 years now. And I'm hoping that that little bit of a platform might gain a couple more views, might help some, dispel some negativity. might help let people know that we're not out worshiping Satan and we're not out killing babies or chickens or whatever you want to think, man. And that we do believe in a supreme being, God, and that there are over or under tones of religion, you know, throughout it. And if my lips get a little dry, I left my chapstick upstairs. I'll just take a sip of my coffee here. Again, you can see that I painted my nails. Rest in peace. And I do that for a reason. It's not a California thing. I'm not gonna quit my day job. And also, I don't wax surfboards for a living because I live in California. Not every person that lives in California waxes surfboards for a living. So think what you want about me. And if you actually watch this show, you'll see I'm not slandering. I'm trying to help. So we left off. And like I've said before, watch the episodes. I won't read to you anything that's in cipher, but anything that's in English, I have the right to present to you. Not on behalf of, there's no affiliation with, and I'm definitely not being sponsored by. So the three Grand Masters. The three Grand Masters mentioned in our ritual concerning the building of the temple are Solomon, King of Israel, Hiram, and King of Tyre, and Hiram Abiff, the widow's son. The secrets known only to these three Grand Masters symbolically represent divine truth, which was known only to God, and was not to be communicated to any man until he had completed his own spiritual temple, and proved himself worthy of receiving it. Once these secrets were attained, a man could rightfully claim the reward of a well-spent and honorable life, and travel in security to that unknown country toward which all of us mortals are bound, and from which none of us will return. It's like going to heaven, dude. Now, traveling in foreign countries. For myself, personally, I have yet to do a lot more traveling in life. But since I've been living in LA, dude, I don't really want to go anywhere, man. I mean, like, I'm here now, back where I was born, you know, in upstate New York. Not in the same area, but, you know, I really don't do much traveling anymore. I've been to Canada and lived in Mexico. And that's the extent of my traveling. But I have gone throughout, you know, America, and I'm about to do so again. Sorry. A little phlegmy. It's cold. And I should, because it's pretty cold even inside, man. We're in upstate New York. It's freezing. I should have my cloak on again, because it's a velvet cape and it's a whole lot warmer. But that has received a little bit of backlash from people that may or may not be a Mason, but wanted to just judge a book by its cover and clearly show to me in comment you've never even read a page, let alone the book, so to speak, of what I'm doing in my show, if you want to relate it to a book with judging a book by its cover. And also, dude, I'm not reading the questions that are in here that we have to answer. You can get all this yourself, dude. There are no secrets in Masonry. We just don't do everything out in the public. Okay? But if you want to know what they are, watch some of the shows. I told you the most proper way, the most respectful way of going about asking questions to a Mason. And I've actually stated, at that rate, don't ask just somebody, write them all down in a notebook, form them in question rather than attack. Do it respectfully. If you got to fill up a whole notebook or a whole bunch, take it to a lodge and go from there. It's cold. I should have that cape on. But for right now, it was just quicker just to grab my book. Here we go. So, traveling in foreign countries. The goal of our ancient operative brethren was to become master stonemasons, engineers, and architects, so they might possess those secrets of the craft, geometry, and etc., which would enable them to practice the art of the engineer, architect, no matter where they traveled, even in foreign countries, thus providing a secure livelihood for their wives and families. The term foreign countries is used symbolically in speculative masonry and is not meant to refer to a certain geographical location, but rather to freedom of the intellect. Now, when I just started this beforehand, and I'd mentioned it like it were location, because that's automatically what you assume. And for myself, the cat just knocked the gate down. Un momento. You're all good, baby. You're okay. Go ahead and eat. Okay. There's a dog and a cat in here. And there's child gates, because there's the 4 kids. The youngest is 2. But, no, I was saying that we automatically assume that's as far as foreign countries and traveling to foreign countries. It's not really what this is all about, but at the same time, I let you know, for myself, I've done a little bit of traveling, but not too much. Okay, Freemasonry itself is a foreign country to those not properly initiated into the rites and traditions. To fully appreciate and enjoy the unique privileges of the craft, the newly raised Master Mason must become familiar with the terra incognita of Freemasonry by learning its language, customs, and history. Once raised, all Freemasons are expected to make use of all the symbolic tools and opportunities provided them by their fellows to complete the journey to discover the innermost secrets of the craft and continue to search for light, which is wisdom or knowledge, and truth wherever it may be found. A rusty trowel, so to speak, it's in quotes, right, is evidence that a Master Mason has not properly continued his lifelong work in preparing himself as a living stone for use by a supreme being, God, in building that house not built by hands, or with hands, eternal in the heavens. So all of this is trying to get you to live a better path in life, like I said, let go of all your superfluities, and what is kind of coined with regular, or all the other, however you want to put it, paths of enlightenment. You're just trying to live a more God-realized life. Be a better person than you were the day before. Now, a Mason is to live a life that is better than they were the day before. Not better than anyone else. just better than themselves the day before. So, in continuing further, the next part here is high 12 and low 12. Now, I think we all know really what that's about to say. High 12 corresponds to noon, see, with the sun in its zenith on the meridian at any particular latitude, while low 12 denotes midnight, the blackest time of the night, from which point it begins to become lighter with the rotation of the earth towards the east and the rising of the sun. So, the lion of the tribe of Judah, and that's J as in Jiminy Cricket, U as in Ursula, D as in Dumbo, A as in Ariel, H as in Happy. The lion is an ancient symbol of royalty found in many cultures. Mesopotamian, Ethiopian, Persian, Egyptian, Greek, and Roman civilizations all venerated the lion. Due to its demonstrated majesty and power, it has long been considered the king of beasts. Its likeness is commonly found on the thrones and palaces of rulers from time immemorial. The male lion was also associated with the sun because its great flowing mane. The lion was the sign or symbol on the banner of the tribe of Judah because this was the royal tribe of the Hebrew nation from which its kings and princes were chosen. Very phlegmy, sorry. That's what happens when I'm in a cold climate. You just get a little phlegmy. Not bad. All of the kings of Judah were called the Lion of the tribe of Judah, because it's in quotes. And his appellation was, therefore, one of the more important titles of Solomon as king of Israel. Speculative Masons now make use of the legendary strength and courage of the lion in facing difficult moral decisions and in protecting the secrets of our craft from the profane and Cohen. Or Cowan, however you want to put it. I think originally when I became entered, I was saying Cowan because C-O-W, right? And it's apparently Cohen. We also venerate the lion symbolically when formally greeting another Master Mason. So I want to read that to you, that last part, once again. Speculative Masons now make use of the legendary strength and courage of the lion in facing difficult moral decisions. Now, reading this material to you, especially the third, apparently has gotten me more views and more comments and everything. And for that, I'm grateful. Because I think people should watch this show. Not just, a couple seconds out of an episode. And clearly not even watching that much, yet still feeling the right to go ahead and run their mouth to me. As though they've seen all they need to know and seen enough. Now when it comes to the last part, in protecting the secrets of our craft from the profane and Cohen. Okay, I am a Mason. I am reading to you some of the materials. But I am not reading to you the cipher, which is in like its own Masonic language, if you were to think of it as another language and like it were to be written in another language, okay? Those are things that I'm not allowed to do. It's not a secret. Anybody with good moral character and, a belief in the supreme being, which is God, and all of that, you can go about becoming a Mason yourself. If you watch the show or you learn enough from somebody else, however the case may be, to where you want to go ahead yourself and become a Mason, by all means, you will know what is referred to as the secrets. And we don't want to reveal them to just anybody. But with this stuff, I'm able to, read to you. And I think it would help. Like I've said before, I really think it'll help if people understand what it is we're learning and doing. Just by putting this information out there, you can dispel a lot of negative thoughts or opinions, when it comes to being a Mason. We're not out there, doing all this stuff that people want to push that we're doing. And it's, I don't know how else to do it, man. But I'd like to help. Being I've got a little bit of a platform, maybe a couple more people will watch. Hopefully it'll help some, in some sense, of getting rid of some of the stigma, or whatever you want to put it, that people seem to have when it comes to Freemasonry. You know what I mean? Like, it's an honorable craft. It's referred to as craft because, but at the same time, like, this is one of the greatest things I've done for myself as an adult. I wished I had the knowledge and mentality and everything to come to sooner. But when I was coming to Masonry, there really wasn't anything but a couple pieces here and there online that were from a Mason and positive. So I wanted to do a whole bunch of videos, not just on Masonry, but enlightenment in general. So while you're watching this show, let's say Masonry isn't right for you, but you discover along the way something else is. Run it up. Whatever leads you on the path to becoming a better person than you were the day before. And for me, that's Masonry. And a few other pieces, along the way. But, like, this is me. Masonry is helping me to remember in times of difficulty where it just, you know what I mean? So, the wages of a Master Mason. It's what you earn. I've read that before. Not in the Master, but in Fellow. How long is that one? I'm going to skip over that. It's, a bit much in here. And I don't want to offend anybody more than I already have. Whatever, dude. I don't care. Be offended all you want, man. If you're looking to be offended, you should be offended. So I'm also going to pass over covering this section here called The Lost Word. Become a Mason, you'll read for yourself. I'll leave that part for you. Okay? It's beautiful. It really is. But I don't want to do this just for people that are Masons or not and that want to slam. I also want to do this series for people to want to come to Freemasonry and want to perpetuate the craft, our fraternity, into the future. Because like it or not, Freemasonry is like dwindling, and I don't like it. So, if you want to become a Mason, by all means, dude, I'll leave this part for you, because it's special. I can read it, it's not a problem, but I'll just leave that for you, dude. You can do that yourself. Now, this is out of California. other states in America have their own thing. It's a little different. So you won't read everything that's in here if you're in another state or if you are in another country. There's differences. So if you're in another state outside of California, I don't know, dude. I haven't gone through Masonry in another state, so it might be totally omitted from what you learn. I don't think so. Not with that particular section. So the setting maul is another tool, a working tool. I'll read that to you. This was a wooden instrument used by operative masons to set polished stones firmly into a wall without damage to their surface finish. The setting maul, because of its size and hardness, has been portrayed as a symbol of destruction from prehistoric times and is shown often in mythology in this capacity. There is a physical difference between a setting maul and a gavel. Usually, the two wardens use the round setting maul with a sounding block, kind of like when you're in court and the judge hammers down, you know. Sounding block as part of their, accompaniments. While the master uses a modified gavel. In some Masonic jurisdictions, the master of the lodge may use a setting maul as well in place of the more traditional gavel. The setting maul, of course, is notorious in Freemasonry as the instrument with which Grandmaster Hiram Abiff was slain. Now, I won't tell you how. But it's sad, dude. What kind of bothers me is that people are just so messed up in the head. And if you don't tell them the secrets, they'll want to kill you. And that doesn't just go for Freemasonry, that's for anything in life, man. People have like this inner sense of greed. They want what they don't have. And they're willing to kill for it. God, it's cold in here. I should have that cape on, man. Like, now, the sprig of acacia. And forgive me if I'm pronouncing that wrong too, man. I'll spell it for you. A is in Ariel, C is in Cinderella. A is in Ariel, C is in Cinderella. I is in Iago, A is in Ariel. Is a genus of shrub and trees belonging to the subfamily Mimosoideae, or whatever it's pronounced, dude. I don't know if I've ever even pronounced it properly. I probably won't. Like, there is someone I can ask. One of my friends that I grew up with, he's not a Mason, but he's gone to school, when it comes to, like, plants and everything. He's good. Like, that dude, you want anything grown, a rose, a tomato, whatever, man. That dude is who you want to talk to. I refer to him as my brother from another mother, but not in Masonry, just in, my friends growing up, Jamie, I love you, buddy. So that was spelling of M as in Mickey, I as in Iago, M as in Minnie, O as in Obi-Wan Kenobi, S as in Stitch, O as in Obi-Wan Kenobi, I as in Iago, D as in Dumbo, E as in Eeyore, A as in Ariel, E as in Eeyore. The family something. F is in Fantasyland, A is in Ariel, B is in Buzz Lightyear, A is in Ariel, C is in Cinderella, E is in Iago, Eeyore, A is in Ariel, E is in Eeyore. First described in Africa by the Swedish botanist Linnaeus in 1773. It's also known as the thorn trees or wattles. And dude, I'm an American dude. I'm from New York. I don't even know what a wattle is, man. But I know how to waddle, you know? There are over 1,300. That's my number. 13. Species of worldwide. And most are native to Australia, with reminders spread around Africa, South Asia, and the Americas, notably in the arid western deserts of the United States and Mexico. So we'd probably have them out west. Phlegmy. Both the Jews and the Egyptians believed that because of its hardiness, its evergreen nature, and its durability, it signified immortality. Ancient Hebrew people traditionally planted the sprig at the head of a grave to mark its location and to show their belief in the afterlife. Let me see what else. Because I do want to leave. This is, I mean, like, to me, the third degree really meant the most to me. A lot of the brothers that I've talked to online and in person, at my lodge or outside of lodge or whatever, right? A lot of them, like I've said, feel the fellow craft, your second degree, was their most important. And to me, like I've said, and I'm saying now, the third degree was the most special to me. So I want to leave a lot of this for people that want to come to Masonry for yourself, if you so choose to. Maybe this one will be extra special for you as well, because it is for me. So there's a few pieces here. Whether you have in California or outside of California, it might be different or whatever, but there's some pieces here that, I'll leave just specifically for you. If you would like to go about becoming a Mason, you're more than welcome. But it'll give you something special to read for yourself on your own and meditate and contemplate on. Masonic relief. Masonic relief in time of need may be applied for by any Master Mason, either to his own lodge or to an individual Master Mason. In every case, the individual asked has the right to determine the worthiness of the request and whether such aid can be granted without material injury to his family. So, let's say in my case, I need to go back home and I'll be, back there in the next week or two, right? Back to California. I'm starting all over again. I don't have a place to live, so I'm probably going to have to be sleeping on the streets again. Because in this last year that I got dumped, has nothing to do with Masonry. I'm just letting you know, right? Nothing was in my name. I had to leave. What do you want? So, I went and, I talked to my brothers and my coach and my lodge and asked what they can do for me. That's basically what this is. Relief is voluntary, and it is a voluntary function of both the lodge and the individual. So if your brothers can help you, or if your lodge, or Grand Lodge, or Masonic Outreach, whatever, right? They'll determine what you need based on your request. And, if they can help you, they'll help you. Now, if the lodge's financial condition will not allow it to help, so like maybe they don't have a whole relief fund set aside, my lodge doesn't. he can apply to the Grand Lodge of his Masonic jurisdiction for help. Now in California, I understand from this year that it is different for other places. Within California, you have to be a Master Mason for 5 years. And I came to Masonry in 2014. It's now 18, so I don't qualify. In order to be eligible for Masonic relief, a brother must not have been suspended in the past 5 years, and there can be no Masonic charges pending against him at the time of application. The widow or orphans of a Master Mason who was a member of the lodge at the time of his death is or are entitled to consideration if they apply for assistance. The same conditions as to worthiness and the ability and willingness of the lodge in these cases. The Grand Lodge of California maintains 2 faculties, one in Union City and one in Covina. And those are kind of like a retirement home where after you're 65, you can go and stay there if you need. And they're supported by the Master Masons via donations, banquets, and investments. Masonic homes is what they are. And which provide excellent and complete care for the widows and their orphans of the California Masons. Your master or secretary can provide you with more information on the Masonic homes. Now, Masonic visitation. So I've covered in previous episodes, not just recently, that when you become an entered apprentice or a fellow craft, you are encouraged to see the ceremony of that degree, even at another lodge. You would have to have a Master Mason of your lodge come and sit with you to vouch for you, but the 2 of you together can go to another lodge and check stuff out. And that's encouraged because, you know, it helps you see more and more and more and more, right? Before you can sit in another lodge, however, you must prove yourself to be a Mason in good standing and have permission from the master of the lodge to enter. In order to attend another lodge, it is important to learn the memory work and modes of recognition in each degree, and have your paid up dues card with you. You can gain admission to another lodge in one of 2 ways: examination or avouchment by a brother who has sat in lodge with you previously. One way to keep the modes of recognition fresh in your mind is to regularly attend the various degrees and participate in the work. This will keep your trowel from becoming rusty from lack of use. And I strongly encourage that. Now this next piece here, I'll just leave off with that, because there's a lot in here. And really, I've gone over everything else, you know. You don't need to hear it out of a book and a video when I've already covered it all, you know. So the right to a Masonic funeral is where I'm going to leave off. And anything else, you're more than welcome to go about becoming a Mason and check it out for yourself. And I hope you do. Being a Mason is one of the most rewarding things I've said, you know, that I've done for myself as an adult. And I think it's great, dude. I'll leave off here with this because I have mentioned I would like a Masonic funeral when that time comes. I'll have my apron on and all of that good stuff, you know? But Masonry means so much to me that I'd like to have one. Even if, which it's not, but let's just say it's the worst funeral any human could ever go through, I'd still want it. Hi. How did that go?
She's sleeping.
Oh. So in this last little piece here, and then we'll be done. The Masonic funeral service is conducted only at the request of a brother or member of his immediate family. Now for me, I'm requesting to have my own, and I am, so there you go. The choice always belongs to the family, not the lodge. So I'm putting it out there that I want one. My family knows that I want one. My lodge knows that I want one. But it's not at the request of the lodge that someone gets one. Chancho. The service can be held in a church, the lodge room, mortuary chapel, or grave site. It is a beautiful and solemn ceremony and, like Masonry itself, does not conflict with a man's personal religious beliefs. So as I've said before, you can be whatever belief you want as long as you believe in a, supreme being. Master Masons are encouraged to qualify themselves to be able to perform the Masonic funeral, if called upon to do so. And I would actually like to participate in doing. A few years ago, we went, my ex and I, up north to one of his family members' funerals. And I learned while sitting in there looking at the pictures that they display at the funeral home that he was a brother and he was also Shriner. He was Prince Hall. So I gave him a really nice, whether you argue or not, I gave him a really nice Buddhist prayer, I got down on all fours kind of deal, slumped over, and just prayed my butt off for that dude. I'd like to take it further in my lifetime and not only have my own Masonic funeral, but I would like to be a part of and help participate in, because I think it's extraordinary. It is considered an honor to be able to present these last Masonic rites to a brother whom a supreme being has called from labor to a celestial reward. Nice way of saying God's taking you to heaven. Your district inspector is charged with the responsibility of qualifying you to conduct the service and with issuing your warrant so that stating that privilege. I hope all of you are enjoying this series so far. There's a lot to cover because it is the quantum mechanics of enlightenment and Freemasonry. And I put the pause in there and say Freemasonry in last because I want to cover everything and then show you what I've learned kind of deal for Masonry and how it all fits in. Like say if we're covering Hinduism or Buddhism, just for an example, I'd say this and this and this and this, and then eventually at the end I'd say, if you remember from previous, this is how that ties into Masonry. I love you guys. I hope all of you are having a wonderful day or an extraordinary evening. I hope it gets even better. Take a few minutes of your time, if you have a few moments of your time. Listen to your favorite song. Do something you really like. Because the more we spend in the moment within our minds of positivity versus reflection upon negativity, things will start to happen for us. So even with taking 20 minutes to listen to a few songs that you rock out to, That's 20 minutes of positivity. Things will start happening because it only takes 17 seconds to propel into the next. If you could do so for 2 minutes and continue on even further, things really start to manifest for you in a positive direction. But if you're focusing on a negative direction, that's where they're going. I do also want to say namaste to all my brothers. Anywhere you are in the world, whithersoever dispersed, just watch this show. Don't judge a book by its cover. Because that's not really Masonic, is it? Judging someone for content that you don't even know, and doing so online, just kind of makes you look like you're ignorant. And I'm putting that politely and just using that one word alone, because I can really say a whole lot more and put you in your place. If you want to judge the content of this show, watch it and then do so. But if you want to judge the show and its content while never having seen it, but basing it upon the image of myself, you're not a brother of mine. Namaste. Feel free to subscribe, watch the show. Even if you plan on attacking afterwards, just watch it. Run it up, buddy. Later.